All right, well, here we are, Friday, September 24th, Eastcoastmom, Westcoastson. And today we have Hira Hosen. And I will tell you that it took me a while to relearn your name because it was Hira for years. And then switching it to Hira when you're going through expansion and this beautiful evolution that humanity is going through. And she has a website, tantraoftheheart.com. And so, dear Hira, I've been not following, so be very careful about my word, following, but I have been enjoying your many perspectives since 2012. I think I saw you with John Vallow when he was building the Illuminating Heart, Awakening the Illuminated Heart workshops. And I was so excited when you started your first vlog, and really have just been, it's like you evolve and go to the next space. I noticed where you started when I started, we kind of intersected somewhere along the way. So I find it very interesting, starting in the left brain, working our way to integrating the right and the left to the heart space. And there you are in Egypt. So if you would, tell us a little bit about yourself. A Zen nun, where did this all start?
Well, if you ask the Zen nun, then there is no beginning and there is no end. So there is no start. And but if you ask me as a human being, then I started, the real blasting ascension way that I'm on right now started in Egypt on the 1st of January 2000, when I climbed the pyramids and that stuff. So that's where for me it really started. Obviously I've made some travels before in India and Africa, Tanzania, so a lot of things already, a lot of doors already opened. But that was the start of what I am representing now as an ascension guide. That path started in Egypt on the 1st of January 2000.
So one of the things I'm curious about is the mainstream of having a family and this awakening process, and being a Zen nun, living in a temple, and now traveling with your family. There is a great amount of trust in the universe that you must have, because the whole idea of it just is scary to me. I can't, I can barely get through homework with my children. So what is that like?
It's very freeing in a way, because my husband is a Zen master and a monk, and so we find each other in that freedom. Obviously, we've been living for 10 years in the Zen temple, so we have been very isolated in that sense of building up a life for 10 years that was ours and not ours, because we were giving our life as a service to the temple, to the Sangha, to the Buddha, to the Dharma. So we had a long transformation process of 10 years being completely outside of society, already living a totally different life. And then now, after 10 years, stepping back into society, which for us means a lot of traveling and not knowing where we're going to live or where we're, going to be in the next 2 months. It's, people are asking, where, are you going to do a workshop here or there? And I'm always like, I just follow the flow,
Right. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so it's beautiful that you can do that as a family. We are also very lucky, because the main directors of the school that my daughter is in, they understand that we both, my husband and me, our work is outside of France. My work is everywhere, almost everywhere except France. I tried it, but it's not really. Maybe I'm not speaking the right language for the French people to really, kind of like get my flow, maybe. So she understood, she understands that we are a lot outside of the country, and like my husband, freediving instructor, Zen master, the whole thing is so out of context that she knows Mahatma since when she was born, almost like a little older she was. So she has visited our temple when she had her 7th birthday, I think. We made a huge party. It was huge with clowns, and we even went into the dojo, made like a 1-minute meditation with all the kids from her class, 25 kids. So the directrice, I don't know how you say it, the chef of the school, she was there. She followed the whole process, so she knows that Mahatma, she is not like a, how you say, maybe a standard school going, and she gives us a lot of space. So we're lucky, that we are able to be flexible like that. So, and we might do homeschooling or completely change. We're further and further onto the path of being completely liberated by countries, borders, school systems, society, the whole thing. So let's see where it brings us. Yeah.
And it's so beautiful because that is your whole practice, is releasing all identity.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's just, and I actually, so when I did this, this awakening, right? For me, it was 2010, 2011. I had the real, like you had in 2000, like that real thrush towards awakening, and really started doing the heavy work. But in that, one door led to another. And then a few years in, I'm like, oh my gosh, all I've done is accumulated a whole bunch of identities. You're the anti-vax, and then you're the conspiracy, and then you're doing this practice and this belief system and this belief system. And I just became more of what I didn't want to be. I was already trying to find my way to who I was, which I had no idea who that was, So in a sense, I mean, you're really ultimately on all levels conquering that, the identity and finding your way.
Yes, it's true. I went to, for example, it's in the beginning it was hard for me because I would have the Zen, the Zen non, and then I would have the Jungvolomel school, and I would be the Dutch girl also, but also the languages, French, English, all these, and so in the beginning it was hard to find the middle path in between all these different. Because it's not only Drumvolo or Zen, it was like, you don't imagine the list of teachers I've been following to actually taste the different ways of awakening, also because I needed them. I needed it. It wasn't just only interest of let's have some fun. It was like I really needed some deep healing. Because every time I take it very like a responsibility. I don't go teaching or guiding people and then be like, okay, be blasé about it. It's like I really, every time I want to dig deeper and deeper and deeper, try to be as empty as I can be. So a lot of teachers, you have Abraham, the list is pretty long of all the different teachers I've been following. Joshua David Stone, this was one of the very first ones, Yavanilia Benz. So this summer I went to Tibetan retreat with Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche, and I really felt a lot of new identities coming in, like the Buddha, the Bodhisattva, the awakened one, the enlightened one, going beyond enlightened one into the state of oneness. There's loads of fun stuff to identify or not identify with, and yes, so it continues going deeper until I am as empty as I can be. Seriously, just be pure source. So all these ways. In the beginning, it was hard to find the middle ground because also I've been a very extreme person. Like seriously, I would 20 years ago, I would take a lot of drugs, for example, in Amsterdam, where I'm from. And then at the same time, I would finish my master degrees of science. So it's really you have the spaced out cadet, on one side, and you have the super I'm an engineer. So you have the engineer and then I was like combining. It was very extreme. So I'm happy that those extremes have found through all these different teachers and paths and the gratefulness. And so at a certain point, I did a reading with somebody in Ibiza, one of my healers in Ibiza, and she said that one day I will step into the world and that all these teachings I have made a blend in my heart. And that from those different teachings, I will be able to share my light and my vibration as only I could do in that sense. And so it feels like I'm getting to that point, to be honest. I mean, it will always change, but I'm getting to that point of feeling like all those instruments, all those teachers, all these different images, I'm getting to the emptiness point where I can really be source and just let it flow through.
That is beautiful. That's amazing. You really do, for me, I can say, your perspective and your experience has helped me tremendously because we don't want to say the salad bar spiritualism, but I really do believe that taking a taste from some of these different teachers and the role that it does play is so very important for us because there are some spaces that I couldn't get to with one teacher that I needed a different practice to get to, and it really does slowly raise our vibration and frequency to where we need to be. Unfortunately, we can't get from point A to point D without all the stuff in between.
I just wanted to talk about that. Like, if I wouldn't have had the structure, which in my life was Zen, I literally had a stick behind the door that said, I'm living in a Zen temple. It's not possible you don't go to meditation. So I do have a very huge reservoir of years and years and years and years of practice in meditation, and I still do it. I still have my daily practice. It's changed a little, but the Zazen, as we did it in the temple, is still part of my practice. So, of course, it's a salad bar. I love that expression, actually. It's also what Abraham says. It's a buffet. All your life is a buffet. You just choose the things that you like, and if you don't like something, don't go criticizing it. It's for somebody else. It's what makes the contrast. So I do like that. But it's true that the backbone or the structure of the teachings that I have integrated within are still daily practice. If I don't do meditation in the morning, or it doesn't matter, if I don't do that daily practice, which kind of takes an hour, if I don't do it, I can skip maybe a day or 2, 3, if I'm really relaxed, but it has to be done. So.
Yeah, I feel like I'm out of balance when I don't. And it becomes the illusion where you say that you're not taking care of you doing this daily practice because you're taking care of everybody else. But that is really an illusion. When you take care of yourself, you're taking care of everybody else. So this year, coming up this next month, you're going to be in Egypt, where you are now, to do these 4 workshops. And talk about these workshops, if you would, because I find it very interesting that we are opening, there's a frequency, that frequency of Avalon, that has always been with us, all these frequencies available. But I've been seeing a lot of different people beginning to tap into this frequency and talk about this. It's a frequency that we are getting and obtaining through the heart space, through love. And I've been seeing it in my own meditations as a bridge to something else. So explain what you're doing with these 4 workshops.
So, yeah, what do you want me to speak about? About the work I do in Egypt, or I'm going to Glastonbury as well, where the Avalon energy and the priestess energy is super powerful. Because...
I remember you talking about the Magdalene. I remember seeing that arising in you. I think the first time that you ever talked about was the Book of Essenes, The Secret of the Essenes, or you did a vlog on the book. And I remember you discussing that, and it was so interesting. And that's when I saw that spark in you. That the Mary Magdalene spark was kind of, lit there. So yeah, you could talk about that.
Yeah, sure. So it's an energy that is within me. So the same healer, one of my best friends in Ibiza, in Spain, she found in me at a certain point around my crown, she found this this past life where I was with the Magdalenes, so part of the Magdalenes, this is Mary Magdalene, and actually there's a whole group of them, and it's really not only about Jesus. It always has been with the whole group. There's actually, I don't want to make it religious or something. I'm actually, as a religion, I'm more Buddhist than Christian or whatever you want to call it, and I'm open and I never, I'm tolerant and never criticizing or saying this is the way. But for me personally, the way that I found it to be true for me is that he had like 12 disciples, like an inner circle, 12 disciples male, 12 disciples female. They were couples actually. And then you had more circles around it. So you had 144 at the end, like, all, and they were very balanced, female and male. So it's about these lost energies of the female part of that teaching of the way of the heart. Because it doesn't matter if it's Jesus and Mary Magdalene, the whole Magdalenes, it doesn't matter. It's just, we all have it. It can come in very much different ways. But this was really, you could say, seeded into the soul of the earth, into the soil of the earth, into the being that the earth was. Like, we really reached a much higher level, and a resurrection, ascension, and all these things were possible because these people actually brought it in and did it. It's like we needed in the Akashic records, like a perfect example, whatever you want to call it, of somebody actually doing that, and so that humanity can follow and say, oh, I like this, I will do the same. That kind of like, like leave a trace of light and that we can follow it.
Yes.
So I was part of that, and she saw that and she said, wow, that's amazing, because I didn't follow them all the way through. At a certain point, I kind of like did my own thing, you could say. And she said that I had no teaching whatsoever, and it really resonated with me. She said, people would just look in your eyes, drop everything they would be doing, just walk with you. So it wasn't even like, oh, you're my follower or whatever. It was just no teaching whatsoever. I guess the teaching would be love or light or whatever you want to express it. And so when I started tuning into that, my whole area here started to burn, really literally burn, like with a crown. So the crown was coming up from very high, going down. And in my healings also, it would really, kind of like almost burn to the body, into the body of the people I would do healings for. I actually stopped doing the healings for a while. I do it really for my friends, when there's a friend really in pain and, I don't know, something, I will do it, of course. So I'm not stopped, but as a service, I'm not doing it so much anymore. But, so this thing is still installed, but now it changed into, when you have cards of Isis, she has this, let me see if I can find one thing, where she has this bowl, bowl of the sun on top of it. If you know those images.
Yes.
So you can find them anywhere. So this is what really triggers me in that sense. The rainbow body, which is your energetic body. You can find it in Tibetan culture, you can find it in Egyptian culture, and you can find it in the Gnostic culture. Not the Christian, but the Gnostic culture. So I'm like, oh my God, everything is coming together. It's just that those past lifetimes really helped me, kind of like that DNA, those light codes that are within me are coming out in this lifetime to help the others, and be like, okay, my intention in this lifetime at this moment, it might change tomorrow, but at this moment, my intention is I want to be of service. I want to embody the highest possible vibrational timeline of the new earth now. So how do I do that? I help with my past lives to actually integrate and embody it into my body through the light codes that I've been. So it's a mix. I don't even know what I was answering to you. It's the Mary Magdalene. So Mary Magdalene, she's it for me for the moment.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, because some of the other workshops that you're doing, also the Melchizedek energy, that's recently come up for me. So tell me about that and your relationship with that energy.
So the Melchizedek is actually the ones, they're like an ancient order or an ancient, you could call it collective consciousness that has actually been guiding our Earth from very, very long time ago. Actually, it has been guiding our Earth before we were even created as a universe. They have helped us being created through the creator gods and goddesses, as they would just basically change plasma and just create souls, human beings, microcosm and microcosm, whatever they wanted to create. So the Melchizedek energy is very, very present, you know, and also in sacred sites, and so you can tune into that. And so, for example, when I would do healing with some of my healing partners, that would happen. Like I would have like a white being of the Melchizedek behind me, and they would send energy into my body, and then I would send energy into another person. So they're pretty sophisticated, very advanced. They have always been guiding. Also the Magdalenes, they have been guiding in different ways. Also the Maria, Atlantis, they've actually always been present and really helping. So I can imagine it comes up. It's one of those. You have the Pleiades, you have the Arcturians, you have the Melchizedek. You have, you know, we all kind of like fit into, you know, one of those families, right? One of those, you know, soul star families. So.
Or all? Can you fit into all? Yeah. Okay.
This one. You see her here with the the sun. That's
yeah, I forget what that is called, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm feeling like when I practice. Boom! I have this sun like burning on top of me, and I don't know where this is gonna go. I tell you, I said to my mother-in-law, I said, I don't know how you call it, if it's mother-in-law but the wife of my father-in-law. So
yeah, that's mother-in-law.
Yeah. I said to her, oh my God, like I'm renting the pyramids, and she was like, oh my God, she didn't know yet, and I was like, yeah, it's possible that UFOs will come in and we'll fly this thing up, and you know, and she was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's in one of them Drunvalo books, or one of the old, right, where they go underneath the pyramid and they activate that spaceship and fly us on home, right?
Yeah, actually, that's what the Great Pyramid is about, right? Why is it that the Great Pyramid is not like this, like the other ones around? It just has that. It's the one that I climbed also on the 1st of January 2000. It's flat. So why is that? Because that spaceship, it's like a landing, you know, like a landing. How do you call that in English? Landing gear, not landing gear, landing space.
Pad, landing pad.
Yeah, like you know, like a nice Stargate family vehicle.
Okay, well, is there anything? What else are you? What else is going on with these workshops that you have coming up? Because you mentioned the Magdalene, the Melchizedek. What other? I heard you mention a couple different things that you were activating and doing during these Stargates and activating the pyramid.
So we start at the pyramid, do a workshop there. People can join or the workshop or only the meditation, or just come for the weekend, don't do the workshop and just only, you know, do the meditation. Then with that activation, because the Great Period is not only an individual ascension chamber, it is also planetary ascension chamber. But it's a little dormant, so it needs to be sparkled and awoken up. And it only happens if there is enough people on the planet that actually really want to move forward and evolve. So I do think we have reached that point. I don't know if you're feeling it as well, but I mean, people are waking up. Doesn't matter if they are ever been spiritual or not. Right. Just, you know, awakenings. It's just general. It's just like, hopefully for them, they know what's going on. If not, they just think they're going to go crazy, or why I'm having so much emotion. So it is happening anyway. And so after that planetary activation, there is an energy that will, like, you know, it's like a vortex of energy that will start spinning from there. And then we go do a cruise for 10 days. So we spin that energy into all those temples, which all the temples all over the planet will carry that energy. And a lot of people doing this. I'm not like you who, you know.
I've heard a few people, right.
Yeah, there's lots. It's definitely happening. So then from that cruise, so we go to 5 main temples, light up our codes, light codes, golden codes, source codes, rainbow codes. Like there's so many codons that we have that are in our DNA that will be activated and woken up. And then we go into the C90, and that will be the Mary Magdalene workshop where we actually clear stargates and portals that are in that area, which is the C90 area, which needs clearing, definitely. And then there will be the last workshop, you know, from the Below School of Remembering in Dashur. And Dashur is like one of the most ancient places, so we kind of like bring the whole thing back to.
It's amazing. Yeah, I've a few people are doing similar things to what you're doing, and how I'm kind of viewing it is like cogs in a clock. It's almost like you do activate something, and then another person activates it at their frequency, and I'm kind of viewing it like it's all lining up perfectly for this. Yeah.
Well, you know how when we exponentially grow, at a certain point, like here we're all divided, everybody's doing their own thing. But once we are exponentially growing, it can only go one way up. It can only go, like it can only log in. We can only get to know each other. All the people that are involved can only be like the thing that's happening with Facebook, everything. We're all getting connected, and so the whole thing will just go up, like you know. And it's humanity that is going to guide this ascension into the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th dimension, all the way upwards. And it's funny because we are like the VIPs. It's like all these different planets, all these different dimensions are all like watching their television, like what the earth is gonna do to them? Right. Like living it in bodies, like we are like, you know, front row seats. So it's like, it's very exciting because they all thought that we're going to make such a big mess, which we still are in a way. It's just that was the reality that we were part of. Now you just got to jump into the new earth energy. Right. So it's still part of us, of our human collective that's making a mess. But it's like that other part is getting stronger and stronger. So, you know, at a certain point, it just gotta come with or go to a parallel reality and play their games of, you know, greed and attachment and anger and, you know, all this on that level. That's fine. There's no judgment. If people want to do another round of 100,000 years of duality, I'm not there.
Yeah, I'm done with the duality game. So.
So we're bringing it all up. It's like, you know, those humans that they thought that were going to destruct everything are actually the ones that are going to lead this way up. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited. Like we're really in it, you know.
Right.
Really.
For people who are just beginning their journey, who are maybe like coming out of bad relationships or coming out of, you know, the things that people deal with in their lives, you know, commonly, what do you think is I mean, it's different for everybody, but in your opinion, the first step that people should take into, you know, enlightenment and changing their surroundings? And
yeah, just go gently. Just go gently, because it's very easy to kind of like drop this, drop that, go to a different country, or yeah, maybe that's easy for me, maybe not for other people, but I would say go gently and really follow your heart. And you know, the voice of your heart is not very loud. Okay, I'm very enthusiastic now, so I'm talking loud, but when you listen, it doesn't talk that loud, right? Everything starts to slow down. It starts to almost whisper. And you're like, oh, okay. So, you know, you have to be gentle, like very, very open and gentle to listen to that voice, and then really honestly make that sincerity connection with yourself first. And when you sincerely feel, is it really time for me to change that relationship? Is it really time for me to change that job? Is it really time for me? Or is there, you know, some kind of going over or transformation possible with that person or that job or the country or whatever you're in, the house. Then you will get that answer like, no, it's time for you to move on. And then you can move on, but do it gently. Don't go like, okay, da, 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 you know. Just really listen to your heart. And I know a lot of people are saying it, right? They're all like, your heart, follow your heart, follow your heart. And I've been teaching it for 7 years. And at a certain point, I was like, how can I really help? Like, not the complicated way you move your conscience into your heart, this, that, techniques. Just really like, what does it really mean? You know, for that person, for me, how do you feel when you're at home? You don't have your phone on, you're just alone. How do you feel? You know, and then just really tune into that, because a lot of emotions will come up, a lot of thoughts will come up, but that's the connection, you with you. You know, that's the first one. If you don't make you with you, like, how do I feel? How do I feel right now? Without all the rest around me, like the whole thing that just goes on and on and on and on and on. You know, we all know like how crazy the world can be. So, and then you honestly ask yourself, almost like you would talk to a child, like, you know, like what is it that you really want to do, right? What is it that you really, and then search for what gives you some sort of excitement also. Don't start doing things because, but, you know, I got to change this, that, because your mind's saying it. It's like, okay, so what do I feel excited about, you know? And you can start with something simple, right? Like buy one of those beautiful tarot cards, like it's called Isis Oracle, doesn't matter, or a book, or a dance, or a painting, and start there, and then you feel, oh, okay, I just gave myself this opportunity, even if it's just once a month, but I gave myself this opportunity to look into the cards or the dance or the meditation or the painting or whatever it is that brings you to your heart, and the excitement, also very important, the joy of your heart. And then you grow from there. Don't expect it to go bam, 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 but, you know, just go gently, just feel it. The most important is you and you. There's nothing else. There's nothing else than you and you. All the rest is just, you know, holographic. Let's not get into it, but the rest is, but it's like, that's it. You and you. That's, you know, that's where you start and that's where you end. And that's, you know, that's the whole thing. So
I think that there's a program that's running that we all have to have a purpose. And that is where we kind of get boxed in. It's this searching for this purpose that we have to have, you know, to meet the expectations of ourselves and others, and finding who you are. You're right. I mean, that's it. I mean, because for me, I had somebody ask me who I was. That was when I really woke up, because I didn't know who I was, because I realized what I thought I was just things that I did. It wasn't who I was. Those were just identities.
Mm-hmm. And it is a good place to start, right? It's like, mm-hmm. because else, if you're too stuck on no identity, then you can get lost. So that person that you are is your starting point, and is the one that needs to do that ascension, that needs to move, and you know, and so it's very. A lot of times we get too technical, too complicated, you know, it has to be like this, like that. We read things, we go for the YouTube journey into what the world is about, and blah, blah, blah. And we lose ourselves into it. So it's like, that's what I mean with being gentle, right? Really, okay, and if you have to start with yourself and you start crying and you start, you know, and you don't like life and you, I don't know, like you don't like what you see, then that is the work. That is the work. Then ask a friend to sit with you. I don't know, like do small steps, but, you know.
And I would say from somebody that has a master's degree in engineering, who's become a Zen nun. So going from very technical, right? Yeah. What a journey. It's just amazing. You're so beautiful, Hira. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Are there any other questions from any viewers? Because we've got to wrap it up. She's got to get to dinner.
Yeah. What advice would you give those who want to tap into Avalon, Magdalene energies? There's another name in there that I can't pronounce, but
the Melchizedek. it's coming out a lot now, yeah? So there's, for example, one of the books that I adore, it's called, anyway, that's what I like, so they can tap into it, see if they like it, just, look at it. It's called Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. So it's, I don't know her personally. It's written by somebody called Claire Hartson. And if you've never written or read something like that, it might be kind of hardcore to jump into it straight away, because it's about a woman called Anna, which is the grandmother of Jesus, and she explains how she managed to stay in one body for 800 years. And she describes all the lineages of all the people and how they got to Jesus. So that's why I'm saying maybe it might be a little, I didn't think about that. For me, it's like normal, like, yeah, sure, but maybe it's maybe not the first book, but very, very interesting. And also just maybe Google it, like Google Mary Magdalene. There's so many women that feel that calling. It really is like a code. A lot of men as well, by the way. It really is like a code. It's like as if it's in your DNA. There's this code, and somebody opened it up. It's like the whole collective human that opened it up. It's like keys opening up everywhere. So if you're open, you're like, I like that Mary Magdalene energy. I don't know what it's about, but I'll just start Googling and then follow your heart, I would say, because of course there's always so much information out there. Or come to one of my workshops.
Yeah, that question is from Doug. So thank you, Doug.
Nice. Yeah, any other question?
Not in this chat here.
Okay, so Doug, read the book. Or read the book.
So the Tantra of the Heart website, tantraoftheheart.com, and you're still doing workshops for the Awakening the Illuminated Heart?
Yes, I do them only now in Egypt.
Okay.
I don't do them so much anymore because I have to make space for other things. I do an Avalon workshop, by the way. This one will be only women in December in Glastonbury. I don't know if you heard about Glastonbury, but it's like one of those goddess temples. There's goddess temples everywhere there. It's the sacred feminine has been always honored there. So when you just enter that area, also just visiting, if you just want to connect to that Avalon energy of the Magdalene family, yeah, I would say visit Glastonbury and and feel around.
Okay, I think that's it. So thank you so much, Hira, for finally joining me. I finally got to be one-on-one with you. It's beautiful. Your energy is amazing. And again, in October, this whole month of October, you're going to be going on this beautiful journey, and we'll be unlocking these beautiful codes and energies and frequencies for all of humanity. So thank you for your service. And Tevin, do you have any last questions?
I do not. This has been awesome, though. Awesome, short little. We usually go on forever. I feel like this was like. This was good. I'm usually sleeping like that second half. So. Oh,
come on. He doesn't have the excitement that I have for the ascension. It's been so fun for me for the last, 6-7 years. So. Yeah. I'm like, always feed me.
I totally see it in his smile. Like he totally has it. Like, yeah, there's no words. I mean, I don't know what time it is in your place, but it's definitely on for him.
Yeah, he's still wants to be in bed.
I'm open for it. No, he's not. He's totally on it. Bring it on, Devin. Bring it on.
All right, so we'll get this edited and back up for everybody. Thank you so much, Hira. Have a beautiful evening. Love you.
Love
Bye.
You. See you guys.
Bye.